Nagoya Castle and the castle town were built on the Nagoya Plateau in the early 1600s. Most of the castle area was destroyed by the Great Fire of Manji. The area was widened more than 4 times, and Hirokoji Street was constructed. In 1887, Nagoya Station opened in Sasashima. Hirokoji Street was extended to Nagoya Station. In 1937, Nagoya Station was moved to its current location. At the same time, the 50-meter-wide Sakuradori Street was constructed to Sakuradori Atsu. As part of the reconstruction after World War II, Sakuradori Street was extended to the Uchiyama-cho intersection. Also, a 100-meter road, Hasai Odori, was constructed. In 1957, Subway Line 1 between Nagoya and Sakemachi opened. After the construction work, Nishiki Dori Street was built on the Subway Line 1. In 1871, the Meiji government abolished the feudal domain. In 1877, the prefectural office was relocated to Minami-Hasaya-cho and a new building was constructed. In 1878, Nagoya Ward was established. The ward office was placed in the southwest corner of Sakae-maki. In 1886, the Tokaido line was extended to Nagoya. Nagoya Station was opened in Sasashima. Hirokoji Street was extended to Nagoya Station. Nagoya Station and the Aichi Prefectural Office were connected. In 1888, the Act of the City, Town, and Village was carried out. The following year, Nagoya was incorporated as a city, and Nagoya Ward was abolished to create Nagoya City. In 1891, the Nobi earthquake, with a magnitude of about 8, struck Nio village in Gifu Prefecture. Nagoya City was also severely damaged by this earthquake. In 1898, the second streetcar in Japan, after the one in Kyoto, was inaugurated between Sasashima and Kencho-mei, a distance of 2.2 kilometers. In 1900, the Chuo line between Nagoya and Tajimi was opened. To extend the streetcar line to Chikusa Station, Aichi Prefectural Office was relocated and newly built in Minamivyuhei-cho. In 1904, the Nagoya branch of the Bank of Japan was relocated from Shinyanagi-cho to the northeast corner of the Sakae intersection. In 1907, Nagoya City Hall was destroyed by fire. It was moved diagonally across the street from the Aichi Prefectural Office. Tsuruma Park, the first park established by Nagoya City, opened in 1909. From March 1910, the 10th Kansai Prefectural Federation Exhibition was held at Tsuruma Park. The 300th anniversary of the founding of Nagoya was celebrated at the same time. The development of Nagoya's infrastructure had progressed rapidly. Ito Gofukuden was a long-established kimono store in Nagoya. In 1910, the store was reorganized as a joint stock corporation. moved to the site of the burnt-down Nagoya City Hall, and started a department store. It became a pioneer of department stores in the Nagoya area. In 1925, the company moved again to Minamiotsu-dori and changed its name to Matsuzakaya. The Central Bazaar is a facility that leases sales space to retail merchants. In 1911, it was built in Sakae. In 1928, the enthronement of the Great Congratulations Nagoya Exposition was held in Tsuruma Park to commemorate the accession to the throne of Emperor Showa. The expo attracted more than 1.94 million visitors in its 77-day session. At the beginning of the Showa era, various government offices, main and branch offices of banks, and department stores were lined up along Hirokoji Street. Sakae Maki was bustling with people as Nagoya's largest downtown. The 3rd Cavalry Regiment of the 3rd Division was transferred to the Moriyama Garrison. In 1933, Nagoya City Hall was moved from Sakae Maki to the site. In 1937, the Nagoya Pan-Pacific Peace Exposition was to be held in Atsuta Mei Shinden. In preparation for this expo, Nagoya Station was relocated and the Sakuradori Street was constructed up to the Outsumachi Street. In 1938, Aichi Prefectural Office was also relocated to the south of City Hall. As 1945 arrived, Japan's defeat in the war had become decisive. On May 14, Nagoya Castle was burned down in an air raid by U.S. forces. As part of the war reconstruction project after the Pacific War, construction of Hisaya Odori and Wakamiya Odori Street began. Also, Sakuradori Street had been extended to the Uchiyama-cho intersection. The construction of the Nagoya TV Tower, the first aggregate radio tower in Japan, began in 1953. The TV tower was completed on June 19, 1954. When it was built, it was the tallest building in the East. In 1957, Nagoya City Subway Line 1 was opened. Nagoya Station and Sakae Maki were connected by subway. Nishiki Street was built on the site of the subway construction. After the war, various parts of central Nagoya were confiscated by the U.S. occupation forces. In 1958, These facilities were returned to Nagoya City. The subway Meiju line between City Hall and Kaneyama opened in 1967. In 1970, a pedestrian paradise began on Atsu Street in Sakae. It was suspended in 1984, but was revived in 2011. In 1978, the Meitetsu Seto line was extended to Sakae. In 1992, the Aichi Art Center was completed by exchanging the site with Sakae Park. The Aichi Art Center consists of 3 facilities: Aichi Prefectural Museum of Art, the Art Theater, and the Cultural Information Center. Oasis 21 is a complex of public facilities, such as parks and bus terminals, and commercial facilities. It opened in October 2002. Oasis 21 is a semi-underground structure connected to the underground shopping mall. Hisaya Odori is a road that runs north-south through Sakae in the center of Nagoya City. It is about 100 meters wide and is called a 100-meter road. The green belt in the middle of the road is used as Hisaya Odori Park. Hisaya Odori Park is about 80 meters wide and 1,700 meters long from north to south, with the Nagoya TV Tower at its center. On the north side of the park, a Goodwill Plaza was created to commemorate the affiliation with the sister and friendship cities of Los Angeles, Mexico City, Nanjing, and Sydney. The city of Nagoya is revitalizing Hisaya Odori by introducing the Park PFI system created by the revised City Park Law, which was enacted in 2017. The redevelopment project of Hisaya Odori Park, North Area and TV Tower area started in January 2019.